Pandora. In the beginning, the gods wanted to destroy man, and for that, they created woman. They called her Pandora, and they filled her with gifts, but one of them was a little urn the translators mixed up and called a box. And all they said was, "Don't open it, darling." Well, Pandora took her little box and went into the world and got married to a man and lived happily for a time, and she put the little box away deep in her house where she wouldn't have to think about it, because one of the gifts that they had given her was obedience. But as time passed, she remembered that box, and she started wondering, why did the gods tell me not to open it? Why would they give it to me if they didn't want me to open it? I wonder what's inside. Because you see, another one of the gifts that they had given her was curiosity. And Pandora brought that box out and started staring at it day after day, and it almost seemed as if, coming from inside, there were voices. Help me. Help me. And the box seemed to rattle and shake, and finally, Pandora couldn't stand it any longer, and she opened the box just a tiny little bit. Instantly, the lid popped open, and all these horrific bat-winged black creatures started streaming out, screeching with their horrific voices and swarming all around. "No, no," she cried, trying to cover the box, trying to shove them back in, but it was too late. These were all the evils in the world. There was war, there was hunger, there was heartbreak, there was depression, there was COVID. All of these things just burst out of the box, and she tried to chase them, and they kept on screeching with this horrible sound, but they flew right out the window, and as soon as they flew out the window, as soon as they flew out the window, they lost their voice, and they flew off into the world completely silently, so that way they could sneak up on mankind and take them by surprise. And meanwhile, Pandora frantically was trying to put them back into the box, and finally she managed to shut the lid right on the wing of the very last little creature. Well, she held the lid tightly down, but by now it was too late. Poverty and sadness and all of the terrible things were out in the world. All of the evils had been unleashed. And Pandora, for the first time, felt lonely. So lonely. So alone. And she saw all the evils in the world, and she thought, this is not a place I want to live in. No, no. I would rather just die and give up. But there was this one struggling little creature still stuck in the box, and its wing, she could see part of its wing sticking out of the lid. And this one seemed different. Well, maybe this one is death, she thought. Who cares anyway now? I'll let this one out. Maybe this one will take me. And she opened up the lid. But the creature didn't fly out. Its wing was broken. It couldn't fly. And it was different, because instead of those scaly bat wings of the other creatures, this one had a rainbow wing. And it was a beautiful little bird at the very bottom of the box. "Oh, little bird," said Pandora, "it's just you and me now, against the evils of the world." And she pulled out the little bird, and the little bird nuzzled up against her cheek. And for the first time, Pandora found herself smiling a bit, and feeling that maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe she'd be able to get through this. The little bird, you see, was hope. And Pandora bandaged its wings, and even though it could never fly away, It became her pet. The little bird of hope would sit on her shoulder and go with her everywhere. And it was because of the little bird of hope that Pandora was able to keep going. Even though she suffered so terribly, she didn't give up because hope was by her side. What she didn't realize, though, was that up in Olympus, the gods watched and laughed, because that was exactly what they had planned. They knew that if man found himself surrounded by all the evils, he would want to give up. But that would be too easy. Now, Greek gods are known for their cruel punishments, and so they decided that they wanted mankind to suffer more, to not give up, to hold on, even when it was a lost cause. And what Pandora never realized was that the little bird of hope had also come out of the box of evils. And hope was the most evil of all, because she dressed herself in rainbow and calls herself our friend, and whispers to us that sweet, sweet, beautiful lie that everything will be all right.